It's BDC Small Business Week, and it's time to celebrate. This week is very special for the Truro and Colchester Chamber of Commerce. It's an opportunity for us to recognize our outstanding business leaders, learn and network with each other, and share stories of business resilience. There is no question 2020 has been a challenging year for our business community, and our Small Business Week celebrations will look a bit different this year. The coronavirus pandemic has changed the way we gather in celebration. However, our vibrancy and spirit will shine through. This is the first in a series of 4 videos, a tribute to business resilience, sponsored by RBC and Wilson's Heating, produced by the Chamber. We felt this year was not a year to present individual awards, but rather to celebrate the community as a whole for its tremendous ability to adapt to change. We will start episode 1 with a heartfelt thank you and acknowledgement to our first responders and essential workers. You went to work serving your community each and every day of this ongoing pandemic, working hard to make us all feel safe and deliver much needed services. From our hospital and healthcare workers to those looking after our most vulnerable in care homes, we thank you. To our first responders who have faced innumerable challenges that have changed the landscape of our community, we honor your commitment to serve. We value those workers who were unable to work remotely or temporarily closed during the onset of the first wave of COVID-19. However, you continue to provide the essential services and assist those in need. 2020 is a landmark year for our Chamber, reaching 130 years as the principal voice of business for Truro and Colchester region. However, we are not alone in celebration of our very special anniversary this year. Carter's Truro Paints marks 130 years providing top quality paints in Truro, as well as exporting across Atlantic Canada and beyond. The Dominion Chair General Store in Bass River is also marking 130 years in business this year, seeing a number of changes and adaptations through the past century. We are also pleased to congratulate MacQuarrie's Pharmasave on its 100-year milestone in 2020. Matthew MacQuarrie joins us to share a few words about his family's longtime business.
My great-grandfather served in the First World War, and he came home and opened up a pharmacy on Prince Street. Ran that through the Depression, through the Second World War. In the 50s, my grandfather entered the business. They moved a few times, mostly on Prince Street, eventually to the Truro Center. This building we're in right now actually was the drugstore at one point. It's currently our home health store and our main office, but my father eventually came into the business in the late 80s, and then I entered the business myself almost a little over 20 years later. And yeah, so we're 4 generations and 100 years old. I think our relationship in the communities we're in is a huge part of that. Having come through the Depression, we've built that. Come through the Depression, come through World War II, come through the decades since then. Building relationships with multiple generations, and even having multiple generations within a family working in the business as well. And it's almost a collaborative community effort that keeps us going. Try to be proactive more than reactive, but also not kind of making knee-jerk reactions. Yeah, really, adaptability is key. COVID did kind of put a spin on things that we weren't expecting, but it is our 100th anniversary. We had stuff planned, but very early on we made the call that we were going to postpone it until it was both appropriate and safe to do so. Hopefully that means next year we'll be able to do something with everybody. It's kind of a wait and see, really, but we're optimistic that we'll have a vaccine and be safe by then. Mm-hmm. Technically, we're an essential business, which that helped us a bit in that we were able to stay open. Obviously, maximizing the safety of our patients and our staff was our top priority. So to that end, we tried to stay ahead of all the government regulations, whether that was reworking the layouts of our stores, whether that was limiting the number of people we could physically have inside our stores, setting up plexiglass barriers. There were issues initially getting things like paper towel and PPE, but that was somewhat out of our hands. It was a global issue. We did kind of see some of the way the wind was blowing and tried to be even more proactive on that, and that did help. But really the key to how we got through COVID was our team and just how great they've been. And they've really come together as a group through all of this. I like that it's a lot of small businesses, a lot of first name basis with people. Some larger businesses like Stanfield's, less large like ourselves, but and we've got a good variety represented, whether it's giftware, clothing, food, hospitality. So it does bring character to the community, and it does spread everything around. So rather than going to one big box store, you can go to several local businesses and support them all.
During this 4-part series, we will showcase a number of local businesses that have adapted and carried on through such tumultuous times. We have seen many shining examples of community spirit, bravery, and resilience. We look forward to sharing these stories with you. Please remember to shop local and support your business community. We will premiere the second video in this series on October 30th. Thank you for joining us.